Hello, ladies and gentlemen, to another RGL cast. My name is Jarrett, and I'm here with Uni to bring you the Jug Dealers versus Cat Posse here in RGL Invite 6's Season 6, Week 5. Both these teams are coming up on their second appearance versus each other, and both of them are still kind of in the race trying to get their last, bit of wins to solidify themselves as a team you want to look at when we're talking about playoff spots. You want to upset a team that has been kind of slated for playoffs, but if you're not too careful, one of these teams could sneak through. But at the end of the day, a loss here tonight would kind of spell disastrous for your run at the end of the day, and would be a little bit too much on your plate for the long haul. So definitely a very important match for both these teams, and I'm really excited to be here to watch it along with Uni. How you doing? What do you expect from this match?
I expect a lot of fast-paced TF2, honestly. The last time these teams played, it was 4-3, but it was really back and forth. And Mustard Overlord, with his giant brain, pulled the comeback. So I'm curious to see if Cat Posse can get their revenge. I feel like Process is a map that does kind of play to their strengths, maybe, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I'd say that no matter what, Process is definitely a very stark difference from Gully Wash when you compare the maps in terms of the strengths and weaknesses and what you bring to the table, and probably some could say the level of how do I word this? Maybe the ability to try to break certain stalemate just because there's 3 doors, right, on Process compared to 2. It's harder to lock things down sometimes, prevent a team from doing something if they really want to do so. Especially with the last being much bigger, there's a lot more room to work with. So I wouldn't be too surprised if we see a much quicker paced game than last time. I think that Gully Wash match was pretty much the only slow paced match we've seen this entire season in terms of not being able to get to 5 rounds. So I'm ready to see what both these teams are bringing to the table. Like we said before in the intro, it's very important for both teams, but they're both kind of like in the running, I'd say, for playoffs still. A loss here would definitely be pretty detrimental. It's probably important to go over the roster so we go too far into it, so everyone can be familiar with the teams and all the players on it. So I'll go ahead and go over the Jug Dealers roster. It is Zam and Gungan on Scout, Hayes and Paul Dog on Soldier, Mustard on Demo, and Phantom on Medic. Please note that Zam is back. He was gone temporarily for a cast or two. They had Trush in his place, but Zam is back on the Scout role for their team.
All right, and then for Cat Posse, it's Shining Star and Yum Yum on Scout, Toss on Roamer, KTB on Pocket, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but I believe that's how it's set up. Kurama on Demo, and Ray on Medic.
Yep, both pretty talented players on each team. You're floating around maybe somewhere in like 5th through 7th, depending on their wins and losses in the second half of the season. So there's definitely potential for them to try to sneak in if they get a couple of nice wins. Well, if you take a look back at the team's record so far and the teams they've played and what they've won so far, in terms of their neighbors that aren't necessarily in the playoffs race, the Jugglers have been undefeated in the first half of their season. They've had some close ones, but so far only really lost to the other top 4 teams that are kind of above them. So they still haven't necessarily got the upset win that they would need to be able to sneak their way into playoffs, but they could maybe get it in the second half of the season. They still have some opportunities, but they also have to make sure they go undefeated once again versus all their other neighboring opponents, and this team is definitely one of those. If you're the Jugglers wanting to get into playoffs, while this isn't the match that you need to upset win, it's the match you need to win in general if you don't want to increase the amount of wins you need to collect on the board to sneak your way in. While the side of Cat Posse, I feel like a lot of people may have wrote them off a little bit just based on the first season performance, or the first half of the season performance. Not because they did it particularly bad or anything, but if like we said when we're talking about the Jug Dealers, the previous match was a 4-3, I think, on Gully in favor of the Jug Dealers. That's a loss on the board that you don't want at all if you're trying to climb your way into playoffs as Cat Posse. So it was a little bit of a tall order trying to collect wins in the first half of the season to set themselves up in a good spot. But they actually got we didn't cast it because we were watching, I think, the Froyo Witness game. I think these Cat Posse beat Global Clan Ice on a Koth map. Which
they
is
beat
huge,
them on clear cut, yeah.
Which is not only a nice win for them, but it's a loss for their direct competitors that they might be neighboring that they would want to snipe the 4th place spot from. So because they got that win, they're still kind of in it. They could still find a way. I think they would need one more, and they'd be in a pretty good spot to find a way to sneak in. So they're still kind of in it. So this is less of a playoff solidifying thing and more of a whoever loses tonight is kind of screwed. Whoever wins is still in a good spot. They still have an opportunity to sneak their way in, but losing tonight, it's technically possible. Realistically, it's gonna be way too hard.
Yeah, it's usually, I think, what, 6 losses, maybe 5. It's somewhere in there is like the maximum you can kind of get to get into playoffs, depending. It's usually somewhere around there, maybe even less.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cat Posse, you're at that 6 mark. Jug dealers are creeping up there. They're only at 4, but you know that can end they can go on a slide anytime. So they've really gotta, keep consistent. You can't really slide at any point now.
And there's still a lot of top teams left to play in the second half of
Yes.
the season too.
Yeah, I'm like looking at the schedules. Cat Posse has to play. Actually, Cat Posse's remaining schedule isn't that hard. Like they played Jug Dealers, they've beaten Platypugs, oh no, they lost to the Yowmen, excuse me. So okay, it's like an average schedule. They should theoretically beat about half the teams and lose to half of them. Jug Dealers, who do they play? About the same for Jug Dealers, but they do actually have to play every single team above them once more. They have to play Ford, Global Clan Ice, Witness, and Fryotech once more.
Yep,
So
sneaking their way into playoffs for either team would probably be like either a Ford victory or a Global Clan Ice victory. But I think that those types of upset wins wouldn't even matter if you had a loss here tonight. That's just too many losses on the board. So definitely a very important matchup for both these teams here on Process. Let's see, what else is there to talk about? Let's talk about the MVPs. It's going to be a stark contrast before we get into the predictions about who is going to be the star players when you change the map so drastically, going from Gully Wash to Process. Who do you think the star players are going to be on for each team that we're going to kind of want to look out for and who might carry the torch for them?
I think it really depends on what type of match we're going to see. If we're going to see a really fast match, I usually look for a scout to step up. I would just think, I don't know, maybe Zam or Shining Star on either team. If I'm seeing a slower match, not like slower or a lot more stalemates or just Uber trades and spam through choke, Demo Man 100%. If there's a huge Demo Man difference, those chokes are going to be opened up real quick. So I think you want to look at those scouts and then the Kurama versus Mustard Overlord matchup. And yeah, Roamer can, if your Roamer knows how to tier 6 the map, he can make a lot of stuff happen with sacks into second. But I think Devilman and those 2 particular scouts are going to be the players to watch.
Yeah, I'd probably have to agree in the scout department that I'd probably say something like Shining and maybe like Gungan are the star players to watch, really, because it's a scout map after all. It can be pretty easy to find your groove depending on how things go. But I feel like I say this every time we are playing an open map like Process. If it's going to be a scout-heavy map, that just puts even more stress on your soldiers. It can be like you can tier 6 the map, but really there's not a whole lot of places to land on. But we're starting now. Quick predictions. Who do you think is going to come on top? What's the score here?
I'd say Jug Dealers 5-3.
I'd say that's fair. I'll just say like a 5-2 in favor of Jug Dealers, and then we'll see what happens as we are going live into the first mid of this match. Jug Dealers versus Cat Posse here on Process.
Yeah, both gentlemen about the same speed. No one wants to go for their own pack. Now Mustard's walking a little bit forward. No crazy fast bombs. As I say that, Gungan is actually immediately on the toss. He is going to back up a little bit. No real aggression. As I say that, soldiers are now flying around the map. Ray just gets taken down by Hayes immediately as that aggression started in. So now it's just a 5v6. No one else is really committing. And
they're stuck on each other's side of mid too.
Yeah,
look at this.
Yeah, this favors Jug Dealers unless Cat Posse are really, really coordinated. And it doesn't seem like they are. Toss is hiding, but no, they're not aware. I don't think
from KTV. Get a little bit of damage.
Oh,
the Mustard with the arrow barely living. The arrows from Phantom just made sure that Mustard pick didn't happen in the day. I think that mid is a pretty big byproduct of playing Ring Around the Rosie, but like immediately losing your medic right at the beginning of the mid. There's no way to win that long term. So Jug Dealers come out on top of that one, and they're already poking around on the one, see if they want to get us like a spawn kill or something, but no, they're just gonna get the gun and be a-okay with that, working their way through to probably lobby for their push. Gotta get some cap time before they go, but gotta get ready for the defense set up by the side of Cat Posse have a gun and sniper this time around, pretty standard. Actually, Uber coming straight out, trying to get on the sniper into the shutter, gonna back up, getting some damage onto Toss. Will clean him up, gun still alive, but not for long. Will get spammed down as well. Heavy in the shutter, take a little bit of damage. Will probably reset bind. Actually, no! Shining Star falling, gun able to collect that kill, and that's 2 dead. I'm surprised to see that Heavy die in the shutter. 2-player advantage. Mustard actually getting isolated, gonna drop actually into the nest, but it's just a distraction for Gungan to get on the point, get the cap time, and secure the round for the Jug Dealers.
Yeah, that was just, they won the mid and just had a textbook last push. They caught off Toss top right. They caught the Heavy kind of just sitting in shutter, and they didn't rush anything. They had a plan and they executed really well. So real quick first round.
I'm surprised to see the Heavy die. I think Shining probably didn't think that he was outside the shutter, so unfortunate for them. But reset mid here, could be anyone's game. I don't know if we're gonna play Ring Around the Rosie again, but got some weak dome in, gonna get arrowed up to continue fighting this mid. KTB launched into the sky. I think he got super boosted by another rocket. Phantom popped in the air, but a little bit too low to not die to the fall damage. Mustard falling as well, 2v2 in trades for now. Another one falling as Soldier initiates in, trying to get some extra initiation onto the weak players on the red team. Paul Dog going in, trying to get some upper directs onto the scout, but the high ground will be a little bit too much to handle. Into the shutter, getting cleaned up by Shining Star, and the scouts on Redder just fighting to fight this one scout left alive, but Gung actually gonna be able to take it, get the pack, continue firing, and get Yama as well. He's just 1v2ing him, but Kura able to get that last frag at the very end of the day to make sure that, albeit they had some sacrifices at the end there, they're able to take this mid. But actually, those are some late scout deaths. I wouldn't be surprised to see Blue poke around at least a little bit.
Yeah, maybe. They do send a Soldier in. All scouts except for Zam have the same spawn, so that both teams got to be really careful. It's happening. Huge air shot. Oh my. And they did get the Force out of Ray, though, so Paul Dog gets destroyed, but does get the Force in the end. And that's just one Soldier for the Force. Actually, Hayes might get cleaned up here in IT. Fighting with Toss. Nah, it looks like he's just going to back up.
Pretty sure they're pretty happy with one for the Force. So pretty good play from them, but Hayes actually getting picked in IT, coming for seconds to make sure that kill is secured and make things a little bit more difficult for the side of the Jug Dealers to push. And actually, it seems like they're going to dry off the fact that they know the Phantom doesn't quite yet, even though they do have a disad to worry about trying to take control over the second point. Phantom and friends will go ahead and back up and maintain their advantage. Actually rotating to the lobby for this upcoming Uber push, I can only assume, into second.
Yeah, that was a really well. Actually, the Uber just immediately comes out. I can't even say anything. They're getting onto Ray, but no, Mustard's dead, and it looked like a scout wanted to go behind, but he does get cleaned up. But all of a sudden, it's a 3v4. Both teams do still have their medic, but Ray has a huge Uber advantage. Toss is actually rolling Zam. He is gonna get cleaned up. Yeah, by a spam rocket from Hayes. So 3v3 Uber ad, and they're just gonna back up and get their spawns. That was a really dangerous situation for the Jug Dealers, and they're still in a horrible spot. Huge Uber disad. The gun is just now going up. They are waiting for Toss, I guess. They're building pretty well. It already is 50, but that's not going to stop the Uber push.
Yep, the Toss kill only bought them a little bit of time to get a defense set up, but here comes the red push going into lobby, trying to pick a door. I think they've spotted a little bit. They know the Pyro gun is over on the right-hand side from their perspective. Going to spam it down a little bit, but the Pyro, I think they're now realizing, is going to be doing the air blasting thing. So trying to go in, getting on the gun. Uber coming in, and a little bit of damage, but not quite enough to not prevent Phantom getting his own Uber. Trying to chase Kura down, able to clean up Shining, and Kura will fall as well, chasing down over to the 2 area, working way over towards lobby, trying to push off the fact that they have a 2-player advantage. Bomb from Toss, edge bugging in the air, late bomb coming on a Phantom. At the end of the day, a little bit of damage, but not quite enough, and Ray is going to fall actually on the other side of the field from a bomb from Paul Dog. So Yum Yum, last person left alive, able to clean up Hayes. Reinforcement with the red team coming in as respawners, but I don't think they want to initiate, especially because Shining on Sniper as their respawner in Sewer as the blue team pushes through choke.
Oh, Mustard saw him. Oh, Mustard's just in on the scout, and he's just dead.
Yum Yum will fall, though.
Yeah, but still, it's a 4v3 right now, and Toss bombs into 2 scouts. He actually destroys Zam. Oh my god.
Fall damage will secure that kill, so it seems like the execution of that push was not quite what the Jug Dealers need to be able to retake mid. Cat Posse gonna hold on to it. Have a small disad to work with, but they keep on a pressure, like, they're pressuring still, even with this sniper. A little bit of a scary scenario for the side of Jug Dealers. Either need to get out or be hyper aggressive, and it seems like it's the get out angle. Mustard will fall as well as Gungan on the backwards transition. So that's going to make it even more difficult for them to use this Uber to break out. They have to wait so long. It's going to actually buy Ray tons of time to get an Uber of her own.
Yeah, it was actually a really good situation for Jug Dealers, and then I don't know what, like, everyone besides maybe Mustard and Gungan wanted to back up. I think Mustard just got caught crossing, but Gungan kind of pushed forward onto a soldier and got cleaned up for it, so their team just can't push out. And Cat Posse are already in a great situation. Shining Star's already on sniper. They don't really have to sack anyone. They can just play this whatever speed they want to.
Yep, got plenty of time. The drug dealers do know what the play is probably going to be. The sniper did not die, has gotten some kills. They know of his existence, so they're adjusting accordingly. Got a centralized hold up on this the central control point with their medic and sentry gun and all that. So trying to hold control over the lobby, but at the end of the day, it is something that the offending team will take control of plenty of time. So have to be careful though. KTP taking a little bit of damage. Will be a rotation. They're just following Shining Star wherever Shiny wants to take a peek at, but a lot of damage on Akura. Kermal is falling, getting a little bit dangerous in the side of the 2-door, but at the end of the day, all the damage will not necessarily net a kill. So for now, just still running down the clock, trying to figure out where the hole is in this blue defense.
Yeah, there's a lot of time to work with, so they don't need to take anything super risky. Hayes has spotted out the sniper. The gun is going down, so that will allow Cat Posse to peek a little more aggressive. KTB is in on the medic. Great bomb actually almost takes down Phantom. Does not get the force, and there was no spam to get the cleanup.
Paul Dog, he wanted to chase a 4 HP toss, but just got meat shot by Yum Yum before he could get around the corner and shoot that rocket, so not going to be able to get that trade. Just going to be a counter sack at the end of the day, and we're going to have Zam actually come up snipers, so might be a little bit of SVS battle here as both teams are... it was going to be a 2 battle, but they're rotating more towards the lobby now for this peeking, which makes sense. More doors, more angles to work with, so at the end of the day, we're going to see who's going to come out on top.
Yeah, sniper v sniper probably benefits Shining Star here, because she dies and her team just backs up.
Oh, battle in 1.
Wow.
All coming off victorious at that.
Yeah, he just skip jumped in and killed Toss. That was really smart. But yeah, like I said, Cat Posse are just gonna back up. Hayes is in. Really nice bomb. Isn't able to get on the medic, and he's just gonna get cleaned up. So we're just gonna see a reset. Shining Star is looking to get aggressive through 1. Look how deep she's in. She's on the medic.
Yeah, Gun able to do a lot of the work. Paul cleaning, shining up though. So just gonna be sacks at the end of the day. 1 shot, and that's all you're gonna get. So, you know, still a decent position for the red team to sit in, as long as you're able to, you know, be okay against these jug dealers counter sacks. You can send as many one-mans as you want, and you're probably not going to have too many consequences. I'm curious as when we're going to see more in like 2-mans, things like that. I mean, it makes sense because the gun's up, but they've taken it down once, so they might be able to take it down again. But it's actually going to be a still sniper, but just a different player this time around. Yum Yum going to try his hand at the sniper class and see what he can do. If the switch-up's going to do anything is yet to be seen, but probably not going to be too much longer. I think they're not necessarily rushing into the lobby quite yet, just hanging out. He's actually taking a really passive angle, seeing if he can like get any lobby people. Or oh, he was going to drop down shot for 5, but no one's at 5, not going to quite find anything. So this this defense for the blue team is still going to be sound, at least for now.
I think Hayes saw him. Well, now they know where he is. So that surprise sniper gone. We're gonna see they're taking heals and their demo through 1, maybe trying to bait someone into the sniper. There are 5 people 1.
I mean, it makes sense. If you're not going to try to kill the gun, the best way to avoid it is 1, even though there's a wall there. You can't see tons, but you can see at least a little bit to get a good angle. Maybe someone on the dispenser or holding one of the other doors. So it's not a bad angle, but going to go ahead and... Actually, Paul Dog, no one was watching too, I don't think, so he just snuck through too. Able to get that force, and that's a pretty good place for the jug dealers to be in. Oh, but the shot, the last-minute shot. Where was that peek even from? Where is Yum Yum?
Roll out.
All right, well... There you go, roll out peek, and they still want more, because that's even worse. A medic drop compared to a medic force. They're trying to poke their way in. KTP gonna fall, but they're able to clean up Hayes. Kill onto Yum Yum and Shining Mustard going huge right there over by the 1 and 2 area, making sure those kills are collected. Still got some lingering players in the side lobby. Zam going in, not able to quite find anything, so at the end of the day, not a successful push, but they still have this ad to work with for the side of Cat Posse for the long term.
Yeah, that was just a great shot from Yum Yum. I mean, that was a horrible situation for Cat Posse just to get forced like that, basically for free. And then Yum Yum does that. So it's about a 50% Uber ad. Shining Star is going to get cleaned up. I think Hayes does live. He does. So this is not the best situation for Cat Posse. Yes, they have the Uber ad, but Toss is not there yet. He's just showing up now. It's only 25%.
It's dwindling too.
Yeah, I think they're going to wait.
Yeah, pretty much kills the push. Wasn't this a huge play from Hayes right there? He practically saves the attempt, so it's back to a stalemate, just getting that 1 pick. I feel like that's the second time we've seen 1 pick be the thing that kind of forces Cat Posse to accidentally have to cancel their advantage, which is unfortunate for them, but it's hats off to the playmaking for the Jug Dealers, because they're definitely doing a lot of salvaging right now, and the salvaging is finding a lot of success.
Yeah, headshots ring out. Yum Yum loses the sniper fight. Goes in, gets airshot.
Rocket. That's crazy.
That's unfortunate. Gets
Get down,
airshot.
Mr. President.
Yeah. The life of a soldier, man. It's depressing. KTB kind of getting a little bit aggressive through rollout. Yum Yum back on sniper. Zam is still on it. So I think. All right.
They're trying to get aggressive on the Mustard. Shining gonna pay with her life.
Nice shot by Zam.
Almost cleaning the kill. The arrow saved Kura's life, just barely. So
He's
blue
just going.
team,
Look at him.
yeah, they got a position to do some sort of counter sack. They're poking around, maybe through lower, soldier bomb in, trying to get some damage. Actually, air shot once again into even more damage.
Yum Yum
losing the SVS toss, trying to cause some damage onto Zam through lower, taking a lot of damage. Actually, will get cleaned up at the end of the day. So 2-for-1 trade in favor, and actually a force coming on a Phantom. KTB going at the very last second in lobby, making sure that force rings out. So 2-for-2 trade, but a maneuver force for Cat Posse, and once again they are in a pretty good position to use this advantage to get a last push going.
Yeah, Zam was really feeling himself, or he got bored. I admire it, but he just went a little bit too far, and then his team kind of tried to back him up. Looks like they're gonna use through. Oh no, they just spammed down the gun. Well played. They're gonna go through lobby, demo scout. Yeah, here we go. Demo bombs in, scout follows. Irma actually gets denied really well. The gun is dead. Zam is on heavy. Their Shining Star's gonna get cleaned up. Paul Dog's dead too. 5v5. Ray's dead. There's no heals on the side of Cat Posse. They need to do something quick. The heavy is still alive, just getting tanked. He is gonna get cleaned up. They need to kill this guy on the point.
It seemed a little bit sketchy, but it worked out at the end of the day. Just by the skin of their teeth, able to collect that point with just a couple players left alive. But Jug Dealers gonna lose that round, and Cat Posse gonna tie up the game at 1-1 as we reset things into the next mid-fight.
Yeah, that was a really rough last push. They just, honestly, Jug Dealers just forgot about the point and lost it. There's not much more than that. Chroma actually taking a lot of damage. He was down pretty low before he ate that arrow, so he's gonna have to be a little bit passive. High bomb actually coming out of toss.
Oh, right into Zam.
Yeah, and now KTB is on Phantom, but the players on Cat Posse.
Oh, the last rocket.
Oh, KTB was like 5 health. Great surf by him. So it's a 4v3. Cat Posse are probably going to back up. Yum Yum should be dead here. Yeah, Yum Yum's dead. It's just a demo and a medic. That is not who you want to be protecting your medic. Kurma's great, but can he hold off everyone here? Oh, he kills Gungan. There has been like no damage onto Ray. Ray's like 5 health. Does get cleaned up, and Kurma's is dead as well. But these players on second for Jug Dealers might not be long for this world.
Oh, maybe.
No, yeah, they're fine.
Just
Great
barely
pipe
held the nice pop. Yeah, that was a really nice pipe. Honestly, that late kill on a Yum Yum kind of sealed the deal, because if you don't have scout speed to run your medic out, your demo doesn't feel like he can jump away, and all of a sudden your backward position just is not as fast as it could have been. So good job from the Jug Dealers taking the, once again, they're salvaging. They're Cat Posse are leading in a lot of these scenarios, and then Jug Dealers are trying to find a way to kind of break it even or put things back in their favor. And right now, things are looking pretty much in their favor, trying to dry fight this. If it goes on long enough, they will have an ad to work with, trying to put some damage onto the enemy team. Yum Yum to take the brunt of it, but it seems like they're going to cancel, play it safe, go ahead and keep their Uber for now. Maybe a rotate choke demo bomb might be the play, and it looks like that's going to be it. Mustard going in with 2 stickies straight into the skybox, right onto the medic, into getting some damage, and Paul Dog able to clean up the damage as well, collapsing on the players of the red team. KTB falling as well, Shining trying to collect some kills, into 2, able to get that frag, and it almost escaped, but Hayes able to get the last rocket on to her to get that kill. Toss getting some damage onto the scouts, but at the end of the day, double jump will prevent the fall damage. So Yum Yum, the last person left alive, the 1v4, but all the way through one they go, stacking onto the point, able to turn this into their second round.
Yeah, that was actually, you know, Mustard died on the bomb, and he was just in the skybox, but that's all he really needed to do. He got some good damage, he killed Kuruma, and he got eyes on him. Sometimes that's all you need for out of an Uber. You need people to look at you so your flank players can get in. That's exactly what happened.
Just completely locked out their exit as we go into the next mid here. going to half point depending on how things go and how this mid goes. Toss immediately going behind, gonna have Paul Dog also try to fight him. I think Toss just got air shot all the way behind, so good shot from Paul Dog. 5v5 right now on mid, they're just pretty much trading sides once again. Current taking a lot of damage, is gonna clean up by a knife fight from Mustard. KTB going into the flank onto Phantom though through Sewer, is able to get a little bit of damage, but not quite enough to collect any kills. So once again, trading sides, but it's gonna be favored for the side of the Jug Dealers in terms of the players left alive, but the damage and health isn't that great on either team. 4v3, at least for now, still on each other's side of the map. So Cat Posse in dire straits, and now Toss try to jump at all to try to create any sort of distraction, but I think they've called it off. They've recognized they want to play this with their Uber, make sure they build it. Toss going back to make sure that Zam is locked down, but gonna be unsuccessful in locking them down, so now there's only 2 players stuck on the wrong side of the map. Forced to take this Uber. Ray taking a little bit of damage, able to collect the pack. Mustard putting out so much. Ray popped into the air, has to pop to negate the fall damage rushing into the enemy team. Phantom gonna have to pop Tinks and Spam, and they're trying to work their way through the choke, but this Uber has lasted for so long that it's gonna flash already. Ray falling, trying to collapse is KTB onto Phantom, not able to collect the kill. Shining getting damage onto Paul, but not quite enough to collect that kill themselves. Yum Yum also doing some work trying to put in damage and pressure, but at the end of the day, seems like the situation the Cat Posse was in was just a little bit too rough for them to get out unscathed. Trying to go for a back cap right now, but getting stopped by Paul Dog, I can only assume, and that's gonna be all she wrote for the fight, maybe? Does he get it? Is Yum Yum getting this? Okay, no. They've been blocked too.
Yeah, that was a pipe dream from Yum Yum. He's got a 2-shot, like at least 2 people to make that work. And Toss and Yum Yum are dead. They're fighting. Second? Why?
I think Toss went behind to help Yum Yum. Yum Yum was just behind the entire time. Hayes actually solo stuffed the Hayes solo stuffed the enemy team in 2. He did so much damage in 2 and kept them for so long, and actually didn't even die himself despite getting low. But Jug Dealer is actually working in really early on, just not even using up until they're already near the point. Yeah, just walked in early, 64, able to collect that round, and now we're at the halftime. So Jug Dealers with a pretty good lead, and Cat Posse gonna have to change some things up going into the next half if they want to switch this around.
Yeah, let me get these stats. I want to see what's, sometimes you look at the stats and one team is completely out-fragging the other team, so it's hard to get a gauge on what's happening.
That's very true.
Hayes actually, wow. Hayes putting out a really good pocket performance. He's only 10-8. It's good. It's not amazing, but 358 DPM
on process of all maps.
On process pocket, almost 90 above anyone else. What also is surprising is the second DPM is KTB. So the pockets are actually putting out a lot of damage and a lot of work.
True. It's not something you would normally expect. Normally you expect it to be a complete scout playground, but the scouts are doing like their job at best, I feel like. Like they're doing cleanup duty where it's needed, and stuff like that, but it seems like it's the projectile classes that are putting in a lot of the work, or at least the pockets for either team.
Yeah, and it seems like a lot of that damage is coming off of like Uber trades or like stuff like that, because like we saw those Ubers where Mustard bombs in, and I'm pretty sure Hayes is right there with him, putting out a lot of damage. So it's not really the story I would think when I think process. I said earlier, when I think process, I think demo shutting down chokes, scouts putting in a lot of work, but
and like soldiers being really sad as well.
Soldiers dying a lot. Yeah,
soldiers with 220 DPM going like 5 and 20 is the story of like, oh yeah, it's just my life as a soldier on process. But no, like to put a performance like that's huge. That's probably it's honestly a mixture of that particular player doing really well as there being some sort of misplay from the enemy team to allow that to happen. So I guess hats off to Hayes, but also what is Cat Posse doing that's allowing Hayes to play so well and do so much without getting punished? His death is 8. It's not like he died for that damage.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is here. Let me see if I would write on. Yeah, all right. Kuroma's taking 311 DPM, or taking 311 damage a minute and doing 233. And it just kind of seemed like in some fights he was either getting caught out or he's a little too aggressive. And like just I don't know. It feels like that's kind of extended to his team. They're really cut off from each other. They're not exactly sure what they're doing. There was the one mid where it ended 3v4, and then all of a sudden Cat Posse wiped because they took a little bit too long. Yum Yum died trying to get out because he took too long to get out. So it's these little decisions, and I think not playing exactly what the best with their team that are costing them. Because Kurma's only died 8 times, so it's not like he's getting caught out. I think it's more that he's either him or his team are going into positions where he's being forced to take a lot of damage and therefore heals, and then they're kind of getting punished for it.
Yeah, now that you mention it, purposeful or not, he's kind of vacuuming to the point where, like, I don't know if you say this is a Kurama thing or a Ray thing or just the team in general or a scout thing, because I'm gonna talk about the scouts. But look at the heal spread for Cat Posse. Like,
Yeah.
this is a scout playground, and your scouts are the lowest healed on your team. They're both under 200 per
That's
minute.
a really good point.
Like,
Wow.
not even your combo scout is in the top 3. It's your combo scout is getting healed less than your roamer on process.
Yeah, I feel like maybe some of that, at least a little bit of that, has to do with when they were holding last and they had engineer and sniper. But you
Maybe
gotta
a
get
little.
you gotta get your scouts more involved, regardless.
True. But they had plenty of time to talk about what they want to change, so now it's up to us to kind of see what adjustments are being made as we go into the next mid, going into the second half between Jug Dealers and Cat Posse.
Yeah, Toss just up on the top right, putting some spam in a choke, not really even caring about Mustard. No real damage to speak of. Kurma's actually taking a decent amount of damage on the left side here. Shining Star's down to 11. I didn't see what happened. It actually got cold, and Toss is dead too. Cat Posse need to be gone.
And Jug Dealers walking across their own path. Kuro, he tried to bomb out, gonna get caught maybe at the end of the day. Hayes able to land on him and get that kill, so a little bit of mechanical error there on your backwards transition. Gonna be a late dome man death, and they're still gonna be able to hold last, but not having a dome man is gonna make it a little bit more easier to peek some of these doors. Oh, KTB actually was kind of in and able to do a little bit of damage, getting a kill on a Zam before falling himself, so you know, not too many people alive for the side of Cat Posse. They have their Uber to hold, but not quite enough reinforcements to block 2. They don't have any positioning, so last hold it will be. So I think Jug Dealer's not going to use any of the kills they've gotten to poke around quite yet because they've lost one of their own. Yum Yum's actually hiding behind the little barrel silos in 5. This is very committal. He will die here after his shot. He's taking a shot. And
wait, he has a shot!
Actually,
they're down 3!
They really went all in for that play. That was extremely high risk, like maybe medium reward, and it did really not pay off at all. Rushing into the side of Jug Dealers with a giant player advantage, and Shiny's gonna get dropped from a flank. They didn't expect that from 2, and that's gonna be another player down for the side of Cat Posse. Toss is gonna come in, but no positioning to actually block this point, and that, they really went all in for that play.
I can okay, yeah, your sniper dying, fine. Maybe having a soldier die as well, but when both of them die, that's just it. Like, I'm always hesitant to, as if I'm calling for a team to lose 2 people holding last, because again, stuff like that can happen. They lost 3 for nothing. I just don't get it.
So, going into match point, into what could be the last mid, depending on how things goes. Cat Posse have to turn things around if they want to stay in this game. A lot of spam on the Mustard, but he's going to air it up and be alright at the end of the day. KTB bombing in, landing in the opposing team sewer. A lot of damage onto the scouts and Zam, and going to be a counter bomb coming in from Toss, trying to land on some players, but so many players dropping on both sides of the field. There's actually be a lot of blue players dropping all in succession, on stacked on top of each other. So it's going to be a good position for the red team to be in. Paul Dog and Hayes, only ones left alive on the opposing side of mid, trying to bomb into Ray, but Ray behind the rock doesn't see the bomb coming. Hayes able to collect that kill. Paul Dog collecting Shining as well. So only 2 players left alive, able to collect this mid, but at what cost?
Yeah, the mid didn't start off that great for them. Yum Yum and Toss went in really aggressively, but the players who were still alive played off it so well. They were just in the face, and KTB is dead.
Another high-risk play. They really like these, like, all-in plays.
Yeah, and I think the last match I cast of theirs, or I don't remember if it was theirs, but it was Process, and the team was doing that exact same thing, and it was working. It's not in this case, though. Kurma's got a bomb out. He actually, no, he's gonna live, okay.
Getting pretty weak, but gonna get arrowed up to be alright. Phantom has a small Uber at it. It's like 15. I mean, if they build, maybe they can get it to 20 and do a demo bomb, but it's really rough. They could dry right now, which is what they're considering doing. They're spamming at the very least. Seeing how far back the red team is, I wouldn't be surprised if they actually go for this. They're ready at choke. It looks like they want to go. Once again, Mustard getting Ubered, bombing straight through, trying to get Ray 90%. Ray's just in, thinking that she's safe. Mustard landing behind, not getting shot for a bit. Ray popping air shot from Mustard, collecting the kill. That was a pipe dream and a half right there, collecting that kill. Gonna see that in the montage later.
Oh my god! That's it. It's
What
over.
a way to end the match. That's what a way to end the match. All right. Well, that's GG. That's a 5-1 in favor of the Jug Dealers. Going to continue on in their chase for playoffs. While Cat Posse got a. They haven't been technically eliminated yet, but they probably got a little bit too much on their plate for the dreams to be real in a realistic stance.
I gotta calm myself. Goodness gracious. All right, so Mustard hit an insane shot and won that round. So great work by Jug Dealers, but I still think the story of the match was, like you said, these really aggressive. Okay, well, Hayes had 479 DPM in the second half. Granted, it was only 4 minutes, but still. I think it was those really aggressive plays out of Cat Posse, like that losing 3 on last, and then taking that fight on set. There's those fights on second they would take. It really just felt like they were getting, I don't know if it was too aggressive is the word, but maybe weren't exactly on the same page, because there's no way they were like, all right, we're going to lose 3 people in lobby to, get this sniper.
It seemed part high risk that would just not work out, so they'd get punished, and part timing. I feel like in the beginning of the match, I think the end of the match was too fast for us to notice this continuously, but in the beginning of the match where there was a lot of stalemates, you'd see moments where Cat Posse would find something and they'd oh, we have ad to work with. And before they could use it, they'd accidentally drop a player. And it's all of a sudden it's oh, okay, that's rough. So now all of a sudden they couldn't push off it. That happened 2 or 3 times, so their advantage, they kind of just lost it themselves by not kind of walking through doors or initiating at the exact same time. So bit of an issue in that regard, but we got combined stats looking at here. You know what I want to look at? For how much Hayes did, the stream doesn't show this. I want to look at the damage taken. I want to know if that was strategic bait, I'm gonna second string, or if he was just chatting in and still doing that much damage and not dying.
I honestly it never felt like he was baiting, but looking at the damage taken, he was under 200.
Yeah.
Well, every other soldier 286, 247, 231, and then Hayes with 381 DPM and 19 kills, only taking 193.
It was pretty. His damage taken is pretty normal. He's middle of the pack for the server, so obviously he wasn't getting super tanked or shot because he has his heals per minute is low and his deaths are low, but it's not like he's the lowest in the server or something like that. So no, that's just Hayes going huge, and it makes sense because we saw a couple times where he was just popping off and doing a whole lot for his team. But I think we have Mustard coming for an interview soon. As soon as he joins Mob, we can talk to him about that final send off, that insane pipe to close out the match. Any other last things you can see from the combined logs here?
So the problem I think with the combined logs is they're basically just it's basically just the first half with Hayes doing a bunch more kills and damage, because the second half was so short and Cat Posse never really got a chance to get moving. That second half was basically defined by, I believe they lost both mid. No, they won that first mid, or the second mid, but Ray died. So they lose the first mid, and then they do that weird play into lobby. So whatever, the stats aren't going to show too much on that. And then they win the second mid, and it's over in a second because Mustard absolutely destroys, Ray. Actually, I'm looking at round length. Cat Posse, the only round they won was 1 minute 16 seconds. Every other round was under 2 minutes and 20 seconds. 146, 211, 217, 145, and 209.
It's a pretty stark difference from the previous match.
Yeah, it's insane actually. So Cat Posse won 2 mids. They won the mid in the round they won, and they won mid in that last round where the thing happened. So I guess just from looking at this, if Cat Posse were able to get on a good foot, it was competitive. But if they lost that mid, it was over.
Yep. And at the end of the day, the Jug Dealers are able to take this match, and we actually have Mustard and Phantom here for an interview post match. Hello, how you guys doing?
I'm good.
Well, fantastic, obviously.
So you guys went for a stark contrast when it came to the map picks. This was your map pick this time around, and immediately banned out Gully and went for a much more open and non-choky map in comparison and process. You felt more comfortable going that route this time? I mean, obviously you picked it, but
Yeah, I think of all the teams that are like near us in the standings, but maybe a little bit below us, we actually have the most trouble with Cat Posse because they're like really good at like rotating away and killing our flank players. So we actually did want to pick a pretty open map where we could just walk forward as a team and dry fight, and I think we're pretty confident in our DM and our focus fire. So I think that did play a part for sure.
all right. So in the beginning of the match, it was a pretty slow-paced game. You know how a lot of a team sitting on last, another team trying to break it, and then you compare that to what happened in the second half. And as the match progressed, it became much more quick. You know, it went from mids to last push surrounds in a very rapid pace. Can you talk a little bit about your guys' journey and trying to figure out how to start to convert rounds more quickly as the match went on?
Well, I think the round that we lost, we were pinned on last, and they had a sniper, and I think honestly most of it was that we just didn't deal with the sniper particularly well. We like gave him too many free shots. We had trouble pushing out like into him without getting headshot. So, and they have some good snipers on their team, but I think we converted most of the rounds where we won the mid. I feel like, and that round, yeah, exactly.
Every round, yeah. You won the mid, you immediately won within 2 minutes.
On that round, we were forced back to last, and like they were taking a while to figure out how to crack our last hold, but we were also not doing the best job of pushing out of last. You know, it's just one of those games. Luckily, I mean, after we lost the round, it was 1-1, right? But we didn't like mentally crumble or anything. We knew that like the mid had gone their way, and then it had been close. It had been closer than the round we won, so yeah, we just focused up.
So I was wondering, Phantom, can you talk a little bit about mids and how that kind of went for your team in terms of like either strategy or as well as your gameplay as a medic? I think you guys did a couple like trading sides, ring around the rosy mids, which can be kind of scary for medics sometimes because you can get caught in the transition if things don't go very well. Is that something that you deliberately planned, or was that kind of just a byproduct of like avoiding them in some of the mids?
Okay, well, I'm comfortable saying this now since we won't have to play them again, but we looked at their demos, so we were Mustard looked at their demos, and we knew in advance like some things to look out for. So the first mid where we killed their medic pretty much instantly and then went to their side, that was the result of that studying.
The research paying off.
Demos.tf is overpowered. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, so I don't know. We were expecting them to do some things that are easily exploitable, and then we blobbed up really well together, protecting me, baited their feeders to come in. The rest of the mids, I think I didn't live, but we also were trading like 2 soldiers for me dying, so then we would overwhelm them anyway. So yeah, all the mids were really good. I think that was probably the key. The 2 things that went wrong for them, I think, were their mids were not the greatest, and also whenever we bombed Mustard, when they were on disad, like a 10% disad or like 15 or something like that, it always worked out fantastic. Especially that last one with Mustard's air shot.
Ooh.
Yeah, you guys seem to do a lot of or at least for this particular match in particular, a lot of pushes where you're just gonna say, screw it, we're bombing in, just gonna full send it, we're not gonna try to milk it through. Is that something that you deliberately tried to go into this match trying to do, or was that just like oh no, this ad is small, that's our only option?
I think part of it was that the ad was small, but I think there are some teams, like for instance, if we were playing, I don't know, Witness or something, where I would like more reliably expect their team to be out already, and I feel like in those situations you would just want to like walk in and milk. I felt like they were holding pretty close a lot of those times, and they were catchable, so it was more like a reaction to that.
Oh yeah, and also a couple times we like deliberately looked choke just to see where they were playing. Like if we saw them out by 1 or 2, for instance, we would just not do it, but we got the call that they're still playing on Spire, so we went through with it. Like we knew it was going to work.
All right, another win on the board for you guys. You have any what other teams are you looking out for when it comes to the last couple of matches? I don't have very many left, but there's probably some important ones out there you haven't yet played yet for your second time. Which teams are you looking at now to focus on?
Well, our road to playoffs is pretty tough because only 4 teams make it, And like we did the math, and if if us and GCI both like beat all the teams currently below us and lose to the teams above us, even if we if we lose to them, there's no chance. And even if we beat them, we might need like some help with rounds 4 rounds against. So like honestly, the most likely scenario is that we finish 5th. There is still a small chance we can go over them and finish 4th. So obviously, for that to even have a chance, we have to beat GCI. So that's probably the match that we're looking at the most. But either way, you know, first season with this team in Invite, a lot of players like stepping up to the level for the first time, and I think we've kind of established ourselves in like this little mid tier, like below some of the like, really established teams, but above some of the other move ups, and I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, personally, I'm content with 5th place. Like I haven't played since season 30 of Invite. That was the last time I played Medic. Zam hasn't played, period. Gungun's second season, I think. Mustard's first full season. There's only Hayes and Paul Dog that had like several, you know, recent seasons of Invite. So 5th is not bad at all.
Oh, by the way, I also want to say we tried to get Hayes to come in here for the interview because he hard carried us that game, but he's too shy and scared. He's a scared little boy, so weren't able to do that.
Unfortunate. Well, definitely shout out to Hayes, but it's time to go to the shout out phase to go ahead and wrap things up for tonight. Do you guys have any shout outs of your own to hand out before we end the stream?
Shout out to my team. Shout out to all the people who fixed the bug that happened last night where demo was like unplayable and I couldn't reload stickies half the time. That was pretty cool. Shout out to you guys for the cast, and yeah, shout out to my teammates for listening to what I said and not making me rage.
Yeah, shout out to you, Jarrett. I watch these casts a lot. You're excellent at it.
Oh,
Shout out
thank you.
to the rest of our team. Shout out to their team. They're nice guys as well. That's it for me.
Anything from you, Uni?
Shout out to Space Ghost Coffee. That's all I got.
True. Shout out to Space Ghost. I guess for me, definitely, as always, shout out to the viewers and shout out to Dolphin for the production and putting on the show and catching all the good stuff that happens during the stream. Definitely stick around overall through the week. We have another game happening tomorrow, I think it is. It's Ford versus Witness, if I'm correct on that. Double check, Dolphin. I've gotten the confirmation it is that, so go ahead and stick around for that in terms of making sure you catch it tomorrow at normal time is 11 EST. But for tonight, that is going to be it for us. I've been Jarrett casting with Uni with Dolphin on production. Thank you and good night.